Hello and many thanks for joining us. I am Obidi Marco, your host, and we are set for the vendor corner on Universal Heritage Television Naija for today, the 10th day of May 2022. Let's go to the table now and see what they have. But know that we are located at the House of Assembly Junction here in New Owerri. That's where we're going to be doing this review this morning. Let's go to the table. Okay, we are here at the table now, and we have a good number of papers here this morning. We have the local tabloids and we have the national paper. So we are going to start with the local tabloids as we usually do. And let's start with the Nigerian Horn. We have the Nigerian Horn newspaper here. The Nigerian Horn newspaper has a screaming headline here. It says, incredible, Almajiri groups pick APC nomination form for Jonathan. Incredible, Almajiri groups pick APC nomination form for Jonathan. Another caption here says 2023 elections, Isi Alambano youth adopt David Achinolo as candidate for Imo House of Assembly. Abuja court bars PDP from using ad hoc delegates. Abuja court bars PDP from using ad hoc delegates. Another caption here says Pole Oba receives Human Impact Award. Pole Oba receives Human Impact Award. All right, this morning I'm going to be analyzing the stories here with a comrade, a very outstanding comrade here in Imo State. I'm talking about Mr. Obinna. Mr. Obinna. We know you as Obinna on Imo, so Obinna Duru, yes, Mr. Obinna Duru. Because he is from Onimo, so we usually call him Obinna on Imo. Obinna Duru, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, my brother.
All right, let's look at the caption here. The big one here says, incredible, Almajiri group picks APC nomination form for Jonathan. This morning again, we're hearing that Jonathan, through his media advisor, has come out to reject the form and says it's an insult. How do you see the whole thing?
Which of them, sorry? Are we talking about the Jonathan's...
Yes, the Almajiri group picking APC nomination form for Jonathan.
Okay, you see, one thing is clear. The former president, His Excellency Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, just like every other Nigerian, is qualified to vie for the office of the president for 2023. But the most important thing is this. Jonathan has come out to deny knowledge or deny the endorsement of such a group's action. So now the question is, who is telling us the truth? If Jonathan is in the race, he should boldly come out and tell Nigeria that he is not interested. All this while he has kept quiet, and a lot of people have been wondering because he has been making some moves. There are a lot of moves before now. So we are not, Nigerians are not fools, and eventually the nomination was made and the form was purchased on his behalf. Maybe because the reactions that were the purported nomination or purchase of form is something, is not too comfortable with that. Now he wants to deny it, but it's okay if he has done that. There's no problem. The most important is that Jonathan is not a kid, so definitely he should be able to, he should be bold enough to own up if he's actually in support of that. If he's not, like he said, we'll take it up from there. We don't need to force him to accept what he's not.
Yeah, because like as you said, Nigerians are wondering, 100 million naira is not a small money. For somebody to waste 100, because we know that this form is not, the money is not refundable. Once you purchase the form, it's not refundable. So for somebody to come out with 100 million to pick up a form for somebody you do not consult with, you don't get his consent, I mean, is it possible? You know, just like you said, maybe the backlash is what has made him to retract his steps. But we are seeing 100 million wasted now.
Yes, it's very, very outrageous. What is happening in Nigeria, it doesn't happen in other Senate climes. In other countries, particularly some countries like Ghana, and some other good countries in Africa. I'm not talking about Europe and America now.
Even Benin Republic, they just had their election.
See, Abdul, the problem with Nigeria is that we keep saying it, we keep on saying it, that the institutions are very, very weak. If the EFCC, the ICPC, and other anti-government agencies are living up to their task, definitely some of these people wouldn't have come out to purchase forms as if they're buying akara with 100 million naira. When there is mass poverty in Nigeria, the untold hardship, the insecurity, and so many other things ravaging the nation. Yet these men are so bold and proud to be dropping 100 million every now and then. Even the people we least expected that they purchase this from, they have all purchased, and more are still coming. So it's not funny at all. It's not funny, but that is the situation we found ourselves. All right,
let's look at the development in PDP. He says the Abuja court bars PDP from using ad hoc delegates. Before this, the report on this court order, we had also heard that INEC had also issued a statement rejecting the PDP list, and people are saying, you know what the PDP passed through before they were able to harmonize and come up with this list, and some people are still aggrieved. What does it portend for the PDP moving forward, especially as we approach 2023 election?
In fact, this particular report this morning portends serious danger for the party. A matter that ought to have been, used the party internal mechanism to settle, ended up in the court. And if the information we are getting this morning is anything to go by, it means that the PDP has shot itself in the leg. So it's a serious issue, and the earlier they come together and resolve it, the better for them. Because there is no way, a group of people will be disenfranchised from making, exercising their legitimate duty as delegates. Some of them have been elected, some of them have been selected, and they've all emerged successfully. And then they are waiting for the right time, the right date to exercise their right. And now all of a sudden they said some people or a group of persons went to court and then said they are not going to be part of the system.
Let me take a bit of that story. It says celebration has rocked the Imo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party following the ruling of a court restraining the party from using the contrived result of the three-man ad hoc delegates election results for Imo State, which were not conducted in the election of candidates for election during its primaries. Chants of PDP, part of the people, rent the air when the news broke at the state party secretariat Monday evening that an Abuja High Court has restrained the PDP and Independent National INEC from recognizing any result emanating from the three-man ad hoc delegates election in Imo State or including any persons purportedly elected in the said three-man ad hoc delegates election held on the 30th of April 2022 or any other date from voting or participating in the election of the candidates of the PDP for elective offices in the forthcoming primaries election of the party, pending hearing and termination of the motion on notice. In a suit filed by Mrs. Chidema Nancy Uzomba against the PDP and INEC, Justice Bello Kawu of the FCT High Court also granted an order restraining the PDP from allowing, recognizing or giving effect to any purported delegates emanating from the stolen or missing result sheets of Idato North and Idato South local government areas three-man ad hoc delegates election to vote in the primary election of the PDP in both local government areas for the purposes of elected candidates for the 2023 general election. That's a serious one for the PDP. Okay, I just wanted to read out the story. Okay, let's go to the statesman. We have the statesman here. We have the statesman here, and it has a big caption here. It says the outrage students protest as ASU extends strike by 3 months. Outrage students protest as ASU extends strike by 3 months. Another caption here says IPOB responsible for killings in Southeast UHTv. IPOB responsible for killings in Southeast UHTv. Another one here says 2023 Senate President Lawal joins presidential race as Ojikalu withdraws from race. 2023, Senate President Lawal joins presidential race as Ojikalu withdraws from race. 74-year-old man arrested for defiling 12-year-old girl. 74-year-old man arrested for defiling 12-year-old girl. Sit at home, UTME candidate stranded in Enugu. Paramount ruler, 2 others kidnapped in Bayelsa. Nigeria collapsing under Buhari, Peter Obi. Sri Lankan Prime Minister resigns after weeks of protests. Quite interesting stories we have here. Another one says 2023 drama as Wike declares self-PDP presidential candidate. Let's start with the declaration of the ASU students' protest and ASU strike extension. ASU has extended the strike action for 12 weeks. That's about 3 months now. And some people students are protesting. And one of the key points that students are raised during their protest yesterday is that if the federal government could, within 48 hours, resolve the issue of A1 jet fuel, the aviation fuel, you understand? Why is it that they can't resolve the issue of universities and ASU strike? Is it because big men fly on planes and all that? So what's your take on this?
Yeah, Abdul, you see, one of the worst things that has happened to Nigeria is playing politics with education. Nigerian politicians have pushed the education system in a very sorry state. Talking about ASU strike, I've been in the academics, I've been in the school, and if you take a very unbiased assessment of the school system, particularly the tertiary education system, you will know that the ASU and her members, what they are asking for is not too much. So it's left for the federal government to look at some of these issues raised, come up with a position, not just be playing politics. So the students going up protesting, they think maybe they are not properly informed. They need to get close to the ASU leadership and understand exactly the position. They are not doing this for themselves. They are doing it for the future of Nigerians. Our school system is dying. In fact, it's in comatose. Yet politicians keep on playing politics. Most of these politicians send their children abroad to school. Yet they come here to play politics with the education system. So I think ASU is doing the right thing. Let them come to round table and discuss, and come up with a position. It's either now or never.
Okay. Let's look at Wike. Wike has been quite controversial these days. This report says 2023 drama as Wike declares self-PDP presidential candidate. Let me take a bit of that story so that we can have better information on it. It says, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has declared himself as the 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. It was reported that Wike made the boast ahead of the party's primary election, which has been scheduled for May 29, 2022. According to the governor, he can no longer be referred to as an aspirant because he believes he has done enough to emerge the PDP candidate, and the delegates will give him the needed votes to win the party's ticket. Is that over expression of confidence? How do you see it?
Well, what do you expect? Wike is a man who sits on wealth, and going by the style of Nigerian politics, he believes that he will buy the delegates, and he has all it takes to buy them and get the tickets. But then I still want to also say that Wike's aspiration is one of those aspirations, what we call a spoiler's game. Wike knows it very well that it has been said all over the media and every sector that this is the turn of the Southeast to produce the president of Nigeria. Everybody is saying the same thing. So whoever that is doing any other thing outside this, probably the person has ulterior motives. And I think what Wike is doing, he knows better what he's doing. But as for the delegates, for the getting PD tickets, there's likelihood he may get it because the people are there for sale. That's the simple truth. There's poverty in the land, and a lot of people want to collect money. So the man understands the situation. That's why he's talking tough. Yes.
All right, let's look at another story here. It says 2023 presidency, CBN governor Emefiele makes U-turn as court summons INEC Malami. 2023 presidency, CBN governor Emefiele makes U-turn as court summons INEC Malami. For some time now, there's been this hide and seek game between Emefiele and Nigerians over his intention for 2023. Some group went and purchased forms for him, which he did just like Jonathan did and denied. But a few days after that, his counsel, his lawyer, went to court. I'm talking about Chief Mike Ezokome. Okay. Went to court and sought for an ex parte motion to restrain the INEC and the Attorney General from stopping him to contest for 2023 government. Yeah, for stopping Emefiele, which means he still has interest. Yeah. So, Nigerians are talking. How can somebody be CBN governor? Apart from holding that public office, CBN is where electoral sensitive materials are kept. So how can somebody be the governor of CBN and yet want to participate in the election?
Yes, Abdul, in fact, the issue of CBN governor vying for the president of Nigeria is also one of those things that Nigerians Nigerians need to ask questions. Now, Mr. Emefiele has not asked himself what becomes of the Apex Bank. CBN is the banker's bank. What happens to the Nigerian economy while he's running for the campaigning from one state to another, running for the office of the president? He's a custodian of our economy and our resources. So why, you see, probably something is fishing somewhere. Something is seriously fishing in Nigeria. Until some of those things are made open, then we begin to understand and realize exactly the game being played. For Emefiele, it's one of those games that they want to play with the Nigerian politics.
What do you make of the fact that the man that appointed him, at least the president, having seen that this man you appointed has a political interest, what's the difficulty there in asking him to resign and replacing him to protect the sanctity of that office?
Yes, I strongly believe that Mr. Emefiele did not come out on his own. Yes, he's not acting off the script. For some CBN governor in of that level to have come out, this is the first time in the history of Nigeria a serving CBN governor is vying for the office of the president. And he's going to court. That means not only that, he has shown that he's partisan. He's not even supposed to be a member of a political party, yes, or maybe to belong to any political party, because he's a CBN governor.
Before you qualify to fly the ticket, yes, of a party, you must have spent some years in the party. So which means for like 2 years or more, he has been a member of the APC.
That means he's a carry member of APC while he has a CBN governor. It ought not to be. It's an aberration as long as Nigerian system, democracy is concerned.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at the joining of the Senate president into the race, and it has got an extended impact on the southeast of Nigeria, because one of the contenders, or one of the aspirants from the southeast of Nigeria, Senator Joseph Carlo, has withdrawn from the race, and now he has thrown his support behind Senator Ahmed Lawal as against the agitation for a southeast president.
Yes, the decision of Joseph Carlo to withdraw from the race is personal to him. But what we strongly condemn is his hastiness, his rush to support the senior president Ahmed Lawal. Nobody has ruled out the fact that this ticket can still come to Southeast. Abdullah, I still believe that it's the turn of the Southeast to produce the president of Nigeria. And for Nigeria to remain one, this equity, this fairness, this justice must be observed, must be maintained. So, Joseph Carlo, I think he's a strong and a very prominent Igbo leader, but I think he acted out of impulse, might be a kind of betrayal, or passing a vote of no confidence on the Igbo candidate, or Igbo aspirants. Not really. No, before now he came out with a position, yeah, advising our neighbors, our brothers from the southwest and the south to support the southeasterner. So because the more he tried to advise them, the more he tried to shout, the more of them are coming out. So out of maybe provocation, and he says, okay, let it go to north. So you don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. Yeah, exactly. That's it. You can't throw away the baby. So we will advise our brother, our leader, His Excellency Dr. Joseph Carlo, to take it easy. We definitely this ticket must either come to Southeast or Nigeria will be redefined or renegotiated. So let me use that word. In fact, it's either the ticket comes to the Southeast or we renegotiate Nigeria. That is the truth.
The Trumpeter newspaper. The Trumpeter has a big caption. Okigwe South rep seat Obo member no Itoboma LGA's collapsed structures for Michael Crown, with a rider as allies present APC nomination form, but for him. Okay. Okorocha's political family divides. Ex-governor in APC, followers move to PDP. 2023, Uzodinma's suspected choice for Senate seats unveiled as Hakim Opia picks forms. 2023, Uzodinma's suspected choice for Senate seats unveiled as Hakim Opia picks forms. Another one here says APC Stakeholders Forum. Arodiobu calls on presidential aspirants to close ranks. APC Stakeholders Forum. Arodiobu calls on presidential aspirants to close ranks. Oil bunkering and organized crime, says ex-speaker. Oil bunkering and organized crime, says ex-speaker. Okay, and let's look at the story about Okorocha's political family. Says the report says that family is now divided. That their principal, ex-governor Rochas Okorocha, is in APC, and that his followers have all moved to the PDP. So will a house divided amongst itself stand?
Yeah, I think what happened with the Okorocha's political family is that the man, His Excellency Rochas Okorocha, is more or less a political Maradona. He understands this game, just like every other political bigwig in Nigeria. So for his followers going to PDP, I think it's very, very strategic. It's very, very strategic. It's like having one leg here and the other leg there. So while he's there in APC, all his supporters, full soldiers are all gone to PDP. Probably if APC doesn't favor him, automatically. So it's a signal, it's a pointer that the man is on his way going to the PDP. That's the simple truth.
So maybe those in APC may not take him serious too.
Of course, yes. With this development, how does he expect APC, which is also my party, to take him serious? Yes. Now, if you are a member of the party, if you think you still belong to the party, you should be committed to the party, whether good or bad. He
may claim that he was pushed out of APC in Imo State because he was actually a founding member of APC here, and as at the time APC was being founded here, people like him were being cajoled, called names and all that, you know.
I don't agree because nobody pushed him out of APC. Right now, as we speak, he has picked nomination form. He purchased nomination form to vie for the office of the president of Nigeria. So why you are?
You don't have you don't have the home base or the home structure to push that ambition.
Yeah, it's all about. It's all about. Just, you see, there's nothing, to worry so much about the home structure. As long as you're a party man, you're a party man. So beside the home structure you're talking about, the Imo State party structure. But if somebody vying for the office of the president, you need the whole Nigerians, you need the whole state structures across the country.
Yeah, they say charity begins at home. So is his own charity going to begin abroad?
Yeah, but he still has some members of APC who are also supporting him here. There are still some members of APC in Imo State that are supporting. Not really, but not saying me anyway.
All right, okay, let's go to another paper and see what they have. Let's look at. You have a news point here. Okay, yes, the news points. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, the Watchdog. Yeah, okay. Let's have the Watchdog. These are the Watchdog newspaper, and the screaming. Okay, the mass headline here says. ASU strike extended by 12 weeks may become indefinite if, okay? INEC rejects Imo PDP's 3-man ad hoc delegates Congress as court invalidates exercise, okay? INEC rejects Imo PDP's 3-man ad hoc delegates Congress as court invalidates exercise, okay? Olu rep seat, my disqualification unacceptable, says Odonze. Olu rep seat, my disqualification unacceptable, says Odonze. Hakim Ararume's son square off for Kigwe Senate seat. Hakim Ararume's son square off for Kigwe Senate seat. Okay, Idato rep seat. Ikenga Ugochinya reacts to his disqualification, says no cause for alarm. Idato rep seat. Ikenga Ugochinya reacts to his disqualification, says no cause for alarm. Federal government Girls College Owerri in extortion scandal. Federal Government Girls College Owerri in extortion scandal. With a rider, parent molested, student beaten on principal's directive for not yielding. Okay. Imo media observers Imo Media Observers Forum honors Chief Paul Oba. Imo Media Observers Forum honors Chief Paul Oba. All right, so let's. We've taken the story of the PDP and all, but let's look at Hakim and Ararume in Okigwe zone. The other story says Okoro, there's a pointer that those who are supported by the governor for the senatorial seat in Okigwe and Owerri may have started emerging, and they pointed at Hakim and for Owerri zone, Hakim and Opia, right? Okigwe for Hakim and Opia for Olo. Now this other paper is saying that the war is intensifying between Hakim and Ararume's son. Okay, Ararume is now out of the calculation. The son is there, so maybe de facto is now the de facto Ararume. So it's like the battle is still between Hakim and Ararume. What is he playing out in Okigwe? And you are from Okigwe also.
Yes, you know, good thing I'm from that same zone of Okigwe. You see, the issue of His Excellency Dr. Ike Hakim picking the nomination form to run for office of the Senate under the platform of APC is a welcome development. His Excellency Dr. Ike Hakim is well experienced. He has the contact, he has the reach, and he has the network too. Then if Ararume Jr. vying for the same senatorial seat under the platform of PDP is also a welcome development. I think personally I want to commend the distinguished Senator Ifeanyi Ararume for taking a break and allow not just allowing the young people to come out, but I think I will advise him to take it a step further by sponsoring and supporting another young person outside his son, outside his biological children. He has a lot of political sons, so there's nothing wrong in bringing any of these young men and supporting them. And that's exactly what we're talking about. He has paid his dues. So this time of for them to support the young people to go, and not just their biological sons.
Okay. So being a former governor, shouldn't Hakim also support another young man aside himself?
Yes, I think it's also very important that His Excellency Dr. Ike Hakim also, he has been preaching that, he has been saying that probably because of the way he was, ousted from office, he finds it very, very unfulfilling, not getting another political post, and maybe probably to do what he wanted to do. But I strongly believe that if he gets the opportunity, God willing, if he gets the opportunity, I think definitely he will begin to support the youth.
All right, so let's look at some national papers now. Let's look at some national papers. Let's look at the Sun. The Sun newspaper is here. That's the Sun newspaper, and the bold headline here says 2023 presidency, Lawan's entry causes jitters in South. 2023 presidency, Lawan's entry causes jitters in South. With riders here, I'm running to take Nigeria to higher glory, says Senate President. Development affirms Saturday Sun reports. Carlo withdraws from race. Lord Lawan opts for Senate. Okay. Court stalls CBN governor's bid to stop disqualification sack. Fulani Group procures APC presidential forms for Goodluck Jonathan. 1.4 million candidates wrote exam in 2 days, says JAM. PDP NWC in crucial meeting as Saraki records breakthrough among delegates. PDP NWC in crucial meeting as Saraki records breakthrough among delegates. With a rider here, serious lobby over convention committee. Nigeria doesn't need part-time president, ex-Senate president. Okay, Abia Guba, PDP chieftains petition National Working Committee, allege compilation of 3 adult delegates list without election. Okay, but outrage as ASU extends strike by 12 weeks. Let's take this story here that 1.4 million candidates wrote the UTME exam in 2 days. We are talking about people who want to enroll into tertiary institutions, and the ones who are already in are not yet graduated. So what is going to happen at the end of the day? Because the strike is lingering. We are not producing graduates yet, and matured ones are already on the waiting.
You see, this issue, I would like to take it up from the population angle. You see, the society is designed in such a way that there is population explosion, particularly in this developing part of the world, like Nigeria. So every year, there are so many young people leaving secondary schools who are desirous of going to university. And everybody wants to go to school, particularly young girls. So that's why we're complaining about the strike action. So why the strike is lingering? Those in the university are still there. Those who are outside, they want to go. So how do we handle this? That's why the government must look inwards and come up to their responsibilities. It's very, very important. They must not continue to play politics with education.
All right. Let's look at the Nation newspaper. Okay. This is a deep newspaper. And the bold caption here says the Supreme Court verdict. Olu Group disowns Governor Uzodinma, says he will lose re-election. Supreme Court verdict. Olu Group disowns Governor Uzodinma, says he will lose re-election. OCDA moves to stop building collapse in Owerri. Imo police bust kidnappers then. Arrest 9 rescue victims. Recovers ammunition, stolen items. Former Senator Nzeribe dies at 83. Imo community decry high fare by transporters. Call on governments to intervene. Hoteliers cry out against insensitive taxations by state government. Quite interesting stories we have in this paper. So let's start with the Olu Group disowning Governor Hope Uzodinma, because I know it has to do with the 17 oil blocks that Imo State lost the matter at the Supreme Court. It has now been ceded to Rivers State. And the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has been, firing from all angles, about the victory they got against Imo State. Do you think the disownment is justified?
Yeah, you see, when the news of the Supreme Court judgment on the 17 oil wells, broke out here in Imo State, there was an atmosphere of disquietness. A lot of people, so many of us, we were very moody. Nobody was happy. But then, when you begin to look at it from the point of litigation and the issue that brought out the litigation, according to the reliable sources, Imo State went to court under the leadership of His Excellency former Governor Emeka Ihedioha. So whatever reasons that made Imo State go to court over those 17 oil wells
must have been germane.
Yes, must have been very strong. Because I still believe that somebody like Emeka Ihedioha is not somebody that can pursue something he's not sure of. But then, from the statements Wike made after the judgment, that this matter started since 1999, and the former governor of Rivers State, Peter Odele, and the former governor of Imo State, His Excellency Achiku Denwa, came out with an understanding, 50-50 sharing. And it has been like that from the time of Achike down to Ike came to Rocha Sokrocha, and nobody has heard about this particular issue, and they're moving on. So whatever that prompted His Excellency Emeka Ihedioha to go to court is a matter that needs to be discussed by all Imonites. We need to look at it from a very realistic point of view. And now that the Supreme Court has given judgment, ceded the whole thing to Rivers State. In other words, the 50 we are getting before now, we are no longer going to get it. So, to me, another good news is that Wike extended olive branch to the Imo people and His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma. That despite the court judgment, definitely these are two sister states. They are ready to sit down and then also resolve amicably and discuss, how to work out for this. I think there's nothing wrong if His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma, accept the olive branch extended by his counterpart, his colleague. Seriously, because at the moment, the Attorney General of the state is not telling us anything. Everybody is desirous to hear from the Attorney General and from the horse's mouth. Nobody has said anything. Even Commission of Information. So
and before that judgment, there were protests from the indigents of Ebema in Imo State. Ebema has two parts. Yes. A smaller faction lives in Rivers State, and the bigger faction lives in Imo State. So those in Imo State, they protested before the judgment and said they protested against the courts, the possibility of the courts ruling against Imo State. Because according to them, they said those oil wells, are actually in Imo State. So maybe I don't know how the court arrived at it, but I don't want to challenge the decision of the Supreme Court. You know, we surrender to their verdict, and but I think like Governor Wike said, maybe a political solution can now be. I mean, see that is resolved.
I agree with you. A political solution is what is required now.
We lost an Iroko from Uguta, the maverick politician, Senator Ato Nzeribe. There's a culture, not just in Igbo land, but it's a global culture, that the dead are not spoken bad of, right? But if we look at the political, because it has been encomiums, praises and all that, but if we look at the political nature of Ato Nzeribe, the roles he played in politics, especially in 1993, the Association for Better Nigeria, and where landed Nigeria and all that. Should it all be praised? Shouldn't we at least at some point say, look, at a point this man aired here. How do you look at it? It's all the praises and praises.
No, like you said, it's in the Igbo culture, not just Igbo culture, African culture. You are not expected to talk down, yeah, mock the dead. Yeah, but then Senator Francis Ato Nzeribe, distinguished senator, he was a great man. He was a great man that from our childhood days we started hearing Ato Nzeribe. So and
helicopter to spray money.
Yes, and this man ran even up to the point even during my adulthood he was still running. So he's not such persons come once in a generation. And I still want to believe that there is something the present generation have to learn from his role and from his life. But then there are some other areas, particularly those controversial areas, which will not serve as a
but there was a time you moved the motion for impeachment against Obasanjo during Obasanjo's first tenure, and they suspended him. There was a time he came with a motion to impeach her, and he was suspended at that time.
Yes, Senator Nzeribe was a very strong politician. During the time of Obasanjo, first time, he was among the people that moved the motion. In fact, Obasanjo was almost impeached. But then, because of Nzeribe being who he was, then he also survived it. Yeah, because he's a very strong politician, and we really miss him. Nigerians and particularly Igbo land miss him so much.
We pray that his soul will rest in peace, and God will grant his family the fortitude to bear the loss of his demise. All right. Yeah. Okay. So OCDA moves to stop building collapse in Owerri. What is OCDA particularly doing if they say they are moving to stop the collapse of buildings in Owerri?
Yeah, I think the general manager of OCDA, a very youthful general manager, Mr. Francis Chukwu, is doing his job very well, and he has started making moves. There are a lot of strategy, a lot of mechanisms put in place to checkmate building collapse in Owerri, particularly in Owerri capital territory. So it's just for the developers to comply with directives, the rules, not to try to cut corners. Most of the time, one of the problems developers have that every developer wants to cut corner, and even when the OCD authorities want to enforce some of the rules, to them they look at it see it as harassment. But some of these things are put in place to ensure this kind of crisis. Because the moment a building collapses, definitely there will be loss of property, there's loss of life. And that is not a good news for us. We can't continue having such stories. But I thank God with the kind of general manager we have, and he's very principled and a disciplinarian too.
All right, on this note, because of time, we are going to be closing shop for the day. I believe we have touched on key issues as raised by the dailies today. So I want to thank my guest here, Mr. Obi Nadru, who has been able to analyze and discuss these headlines with me. Obina, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Abdul. Sure, I'll be available at any time to call me.
All right, I also want to appreciate our vendor that allowed us. Vendor, come now. The vendor that allowed us to use our stand today. Come this way. Come, the vendor. Come with your paper now. Carry your paper. That's the vendor that allowed us to use our venue today. Tell us your name.
My name is Priscilla Oyam.
Priscilla Oyam. Okay. How long have you been doing this business?
Well, for the past 10 years.
10 years now?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, so we want to thank you for allowing us to use here for today's press review. And any other time we'll come, I hope we'll be welcome. All right, thank you and God bless. All right, dear viewer, we've come to the end of today's program. I'm sure you have enjoyed the program. We'll be back tomorrow for another edition of the program. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Universal Heritage Television Naija, and so that you can be getting more of our broadcasts. Till I come your way tomorrow, I'm your host, Akobidimara. I say bye-bye.